Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of hands I played so far this month on the iPoker 20 NL Streets. I don't feel like I played particularly well this month. I haven't felt like I played with any kind of consistency whatsoever. My results have been good, but I know I haven't been playing anywhere near my best. I've made loads of mistakes, particularly in defensive lines. Um, Being too aggressive in stupid spots, etc. So yeah, even though my results are good, nothing else has been really. So we're going to look through some hands. These are mostly all pretty chunky, sizable pots, and we're just going to see exactly what I've been up to and if there's anything coming to light from that. Because I definitely haven't played well. Here we have two jacks. We open, we get 3-bet by a big blind playing 34-13-4. Do we want to be 4-betting jacks versus somebody with a 4% 3-bet? Blind versus blind means pointless sample. 1 of 6 3-bet from the blind. It's probably this hand. So do we want to 4-bet this? And normally this will be an absolute slam dunk 4-bet get in. Maybe that's what I'm about to do. I don't know. I haven't looked at any of these hands again. But I don't think I would like it versus this player type. No, so I do just call. We get a 7 deuce 3 flop. We check. Our man bets whatever the fuck that is. Call it 2/3 for argument's sake. I think theory is just raise here, always, or quite often. But theory isn't playing against a 34-13-4. I think maybe just call here. Just try and navigate our way to showdown. And if villain checks any streets, then start value betting. So, for example, if this goes check on the turn after we call, value bet river, as I'm assuming it's not a bad card. We do go with raise. Villain calls. Turn ace. Shouldn't have too much ace X in his c-bet call range. How do I think this player plays queens through aces on the flop when they get check raised? I'm assuming they're just fast playing them nearly all the time. So does the ace interact well with his bet call range here? Now, what type of hands can they have? Ace X suited maybe played this way, like ace king suited, ace queen suited, king queen suited. Obviously, they can't have king jack suited. Ugh. Do we just check and try to show our hand down now against stuff like pocket nines, pocket tens? Maybe. Oh, Reg. Oh, Reg, what are you doing, son? This stinks. I think it stinks anyway. There's no point putting this in a solver because we're playing against someone who's just like totally not theory based. So I think this is just a punt. Villain calls. And they didn't 3-bet king king on the flop. So when they're not 3-betting over pairs on the flop, yeah, this turn champ's fucking atrocious. Whatever. I mean, it should have gone all in pre in normal games, in normal situations versus normal people. These games aren't normal, situations aren't normal, and the people certainly aren't normal. So we should have lost our stack here anyway, but I'm not particularly pleased in the manner in which we did it. To the next hand, 2 queens. Open from some kind of reg, although he's got a shitty stack. So, fuck that guy. Fold. 3-bet. Fold. All that boring. Boring. Okay. He just decides that 3-bet ripping fours is a good idea. Nothing to see here. Move along. Queen 10 suited. Open from someone who's probably shaping up to be some kind of aggro fish. Against an unknown player here who's on the more aggressive side over a small sample. Hang on, my phone's ringing. Why does my phone always ring when I'm making a video? 1 second. Here we go. Yes, so I was saying, versus an unknown player who looks like they might be on the more active side. I'm not really that willing to 3-bet this hand against a lot of fish. I would maybe 3-bet this hand if I thought they were particularly bad and maybe a little bit on the like raise too often and then overfold side. But anyways, let's see what we did in the moment. We did go with the 3-bet this time. I don't think I like this. We did get the call. Interesting flop. I think we can go a multitude of ways here. Can obviously see bet. Check. And then call or raise depending on size. I don't really have a preference. I don't know if I want this player to have a preference. So let's see what I did in game. We went with a 1/3 c-bet. Your man just says, fuck you, buddy. And we've got a royal flush draw. So I guess we're all in and it's time to get there. We do get there. But we were drawing bad. We were drawing bad. Yeah, okay. Nothing to beat myself up for in that hand. Ace, king of suit. 4x open. Trivial 3-bet to probably 16 to 20 blinds. Okay, another boring one. On to the next one. Open, call. Okay, another boring one. Probably should have checked these hands before we ran it. Another 4x open. A jack queen suited on the button. I think probably just calling here. We got a pretty one against a moron. Reopening and getting shut out of the pot would really not be good. And we just flop the effective nuts. Villain c-bets half pot. No reason to raise here. So we did. Why have we done this? Villain's got a very high c-bet over a small sample of 80%. We're in position, we can build the pot later if he starts slowing down. Yeah, I don't like this. Villain calls. Queen turn. Villain checks. We have SPR around 2. So probably something in the region of 20 bigs here. Just over half pot. We put 20 in. He calls at 76 in the middle, 57 behind. Maybe just over 20. Maybe like 22. 26, okay. Villain calls. River bricks out. And he just donks, and we obviously call. Okay. Interesting. 2 aces. Open. Call. Flop top set. Your man checks. He's pretty passive on the flop and then begins to ramp up his aggression on turns and rivers, it seems. I could make a case for checking back here. It's going to be very hard for a opponent to call. He's a 71-13. He's just going to have an awful lot of shite in his range that just can't win. I don't know, stuff like fucking 7-5 offsuit, 4-3 suited, etc. Just a load of shite. I don't mind checking back here. We do go with half pot. Your man calls. So after they check call on that flop, we just rule out all the shite, and then we start thinking about what types of hands villain can still have. Obviously, you can have the case ace. Probably plenty of king X and jack X. Pair plus straight draws. 2 pairs. What size do we bet? Has he checked? Yes, he has. So what size do we bet here? I don't think overbet's the play. We want to build the pot. We got a lot of money to get in here. Maybe overbet is the play. We've got SPR 17. It's going to be hard to get all the money in no matter what happens here, I guess. I think maybe just forget about trying to stack this guy for the time being and just make a... No, I don't think I like overbet. Oh, villain now goes with check raise. How often do we think 71-13s that check raise his turn are folding to a 3-bet? Obviously, we lose to Queen 10, but we beat everything else. What does a 71-13 check raise for value range look like here? And how often does that continue versus 3-bet? Do they have any semi-bluffs here? 9-10 spades. King X of spades that's just overplaying. You can check out often this guy falls to 3 bets on the turn, but no, in fact, what is the point? It's going to be a sample size of like fucking 0. Let's just confirm we are completely wasting our time with this. Fold to 3 bet. Hasn't happened yet. I think probably now we've got a chance of stacking him. Maybe just make a small 3 bet. Maybe make it like 42, something like that. I'll go with the trap. Boat up on the river. Villain now bets full pot. We're clearly going to be all in. And calls. And they had ace jack. King queen is suited. Opening 3x. This will be a function of just having really loose passive players behind. And a caller. Check. I think just betting here is fine. 2 overs. Plenty of backdoors. Do go with bet. Villain calls. Turn the nut flush draw. Villain checks. I could see myself going a few ways here. Check wouldn't be one of them very often. I think there's like a multitude of bet sizes available to us here. I don't really care which one we take. We went with overbet. Villain called again. We live with the nuts again. Villain now checks. And do we get greedy here with an all-in? Now let's check called overbet on the turn. So you imagine it's going to be an underfolded river. He can have some worse flushes. He can have some random ace-x that floated the flop. Don't think he had a two pair plus hand on the turn though. Very often. Do we just get greedy? Somehow hope that RE was off. He did have two pair plus on the turn. Or he's rivered a inferior flush. I think greed's the solution here. I went just with big bet rather than jam. Ace king. Okay, maybe that was a better size. Maybe ace king folds versus 1.5 pots or whatever it would have been. King 5 suited. Open. 3 bets. Okay. This would be a low frequency play from me. Call. Flop flush draw. Check. Villain probes a lot. 53% turn probe. Sometimes I will block in position versus people who probe too often, just to prevent myself from having to start taking passive lines against people who are going to probe too wide. Yeah, I think small bet here. Probably okay versus this villain. We went with large bet. We got called. Turn to brick. Check. How's this guy? Well, let's look at a few things. First of all, blind versus blind. What's his fold versus three bet? 88%. Which will explain why I three bet this hand. So we've folded out a ton of hands already with pre-flop. He opens 39%. He's now folded 88% of that range. I'm not especially good at mathematics, but I'm thinking that leaves him with about a 5% range. Then he's check called the flop. I think we should just take our free card here. Oh, Rich, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Just take your free excuse me, just take your free fucking card, Reg. I don't like this. Call. Brick. Bugger. Next one. King Jack. Offsuit. Open from a weapon. Three bet to isolate or call in position. If we had good active regs behind us, I think three bet here to isolate, but we don't. So I'm fine calling, but I don't hate three betting. We do go with the small three bet just to try and ISO. Call. 988. Donk. Okay. Don't like raise. Don't hate fold or call. It's a weird spot. It's not a good spot. Maybe we just peel one. See if villain slows down. See if we can improve. Well, it's a line, I guess. Villain calls. Turn deuce. Check. I mean, this spot's pretty fucked up. This is a pretty fucked up spot. Give up? Question mark. That's what we did. River King. Villain now does that. But 11 blinds more. We should probably just put it in. We didn't. Villain had that. Ace 10. Open. Min 3 bet from a 38/6. Call. 2 pairs. Bet pot. Raise. Fuck you, Reg. Just fuck you, Reg. 38/5. And his pot C bet ace 10/6. The man's got a hand. Just raise, get the money. Jack turn. Pot. Now I don't like raise anymore as played. Still beating ace queen, ace king. But we lose to just a bit more stuff. Ace jack king queen. Pocket jacks if he ever pots the flop, which seems unlikely. Call. Deuce river. Or pot again. Just call. Oh, all in. Okay, whatever. Did say I didn't think it was playing too well. I mean, how bad can it be? But yeah, the guy's just got ace jack. Pocket queens. Open, call, squeeze. I think our size is maybe not quite big enough here. All in. Okay, so it's a boring one. Delighted for you, son. Or madam. Open 3 bet. Call. SPR 4 and a bit. We could just go like small, or smallish jam here pretty comfortably. I go with check. I don't like this. Villain isn't super aggro post flop. He's got like kind of like mediocre post flop aggression, but he's doing that for wide range, so maybe he overplays. Who knows? He goes with pot. We go with call. Check. The man's now all in. We're all in. And he was doing random stuff with pocket fives. Ace 10. Okay, boring one. I think we should just fold here, by the way. I think this is a pretty big mistake. I work in a very high rake environment. Says he would need like 49% equity to call. With the rake environment I'm in, I think that probably comes down to goes up to maybe like way over 50%. We probably still have that, but we just don't need to do this. We just do not need to do it, in my opinion. Ah, I remember. I remember this hand. This guy was just open ripping every hand at this point. No, that's not true. He was playing well, not normally, but he was doing like min raise, limp, etc. But after he lost a sizable pot, he would just go all in for a few hands, then settle down again. So in that case, scratch everything I just said. In that particular moment, that call's mandatory. Open. Ah, this is the same guy. Yeah, that's why it was mandatory. Raise. Massive 3-bet. This could be the same guy again. Brick. C-bet. I mean, this guy just has loads and loads of nothing. He's playing 63, 41, 35% fold versus 3-bet. So he has plenty of nothing here. Maybe just check though. Let him do his thing. Instead. Yeah, what are you doing, Rich? I mean, no, what? We have to do this, but I think if we're going to get this hand in, I think check shoving it is better than bet calling it by quite some margin. His range for raising versus C bet is going to be significantly narrower than his bet versus check. Yeah, this is just bad. Just had deuces, so good for him. No idea why I'm in opening here. I can only imagine it's been a misclick, although it's hard to make misclicks on the site I'm on. Check. Bet 2 overs versus someone with an incredibly wide range who's just going to have incredible amounts of air here. Don't hate it. Could have just gone smaller though. Your man calls. Turn the 9. He checks. Start value betting reg. Yep. Check. And what size? We have 2 and a bit pots left. Your man's folding to 73% of river bets, which is pretty normal, I guess, for someone who's 61-7, who's going to reach river with way too many shitty hands. So if he's overfolding river anyway, maybe just go for the lot for the times that he just has a bluff catcher. We went over bet, but no. Now your man's all in. And we obviously have a snap call. And he had the 6-9. Deuces. Calling. Flopping sets. Checking. Facing pot. Call. Checking, hoping he pots again. Half pot this time. I think probably raised now. Now he's downsized. Call. And all in river. King, queen. Open. Call. Squeeze. I know this reg very well. He's shit. He is very linear pre-flop with his aggression. He opens too wide because let's analyze this guy a little bit. These are his like open raise per seat pre-flop, all that line. So 29% middle position, 29% cut off, 37% button, 41% from the small blind. He has a 9% 3-bet. And I am very, very confident this is like just super, super linear with no bluffs in it or barely any bluffs. we do have this heat map thing that I can't get working properly, but it does its job to an extent. As you see, pretty linear, very heavily concentrated around this top bit, and then not much. Few little random nonsense things here and there. But overall, linear with just a tiniest hint of polarity once in a blue moon. So yeah, that's the read. How do I get rid of this fucking thing now? There we go. I think this is like not close because we want to play a pot with this top villain. I mean, this guy's like he's got us crushed in the like aces, kings, queens, ace, king, ace, queen department. Um, so even though we've got king, queen suited, we're not in especially good shape versus his range. But it's very, very pretty, and we have a whale on the button. So I think call's the only play here. This is what we do. We flop ourselves a top pair. This guy's c-bet is remarkably low at 37%. But when he does c-bet, he follows through with barrels at a very high frequency. His c-bet in 3-bet pots, though, is quite high. And that will definitely be to do with the fact he's linear as fuck. Pre-flop, and then just overplays slightly post-flop. So even though his overall c-bet's 37%, his c-bet in 3-bet pots is almost double that. And we have just a very trivial call here. Turn a flush draw. And he barrels again. Half pot, leaving 20 behind. I did tell you this guy was shit. And now I just think we just need to be all in. Your man isn't bluffing very often here. When he is bluffing, he's got equity. He just isn't going to ever fold here when he does this. Maybe just call and call all rivers too. But let's face it doesn't really matter, does it? Excuse me. And we get there with the flush. We probably needed to. And he just punted with the ace-jack offsuit. And that's it. That's the end of the hands. Been a little bit lethargic because I'm tired. I stopped playing because I was tired this morning. And then I just wanted something to do. So I did this. So it's not been the most enthusiastic video I've ever made. This is like my results for the month. Clearly really good. We look like €500 in 30,000 hands. €45 a day. Happy with that. Win rate in big blinds per 100 is 8. Probably going to be closer to 7. All in EV. And quite a lot of these hands have come from Party Poker Fast Forward, which isn't a tough pool. It's just a fucking irritating pool because it's relatively nitty. And people just always fucking have it, which is what I've been finding out in this here, in this here, in this here. You just cannot. We did a video last week about how you cannot call down light at microstakes poker, and that's hands down at the moment. It's my biggest problem by a fucking country mile is calling down too wide. I mean, this month could have been exceptional had we not just fucking punted off with calls. Now, my one when called river stat is pretty fucking good still, but that doesn't tell the whole story. And imagine one when calling all in on the river would be significantly fucking worse, or one when calling large bets on river would be significantly worse. When people are dicking around betting small, when you're taking lines specifically to induce because villains can have like lots of like air in their range, that's different. But when it's been 3-bet, c-bet, bet turn, jam, etc., or you've 3-bet, you've c-bet, you've been called, you bet turn, or you bet river and they've jammed on you. All those types of things where villains just don't have air in range or don't have enough air in range. I mean, in my opinion, I should be minimum 8 buy-ins better off so far this month, if not fucking more. I mean, some of them are unavoidable, do not get me wrong, but this session yesterday afternoon was shit. I just played absolutely shit and just lost like 3.5 buy-ins in 40 minutes. Just like, oh, this guy's aggro, this guy's a reg. Maybe he has some bluffs here. Maybe we just need to call down. Oh, okay, maybe not. There was one last night that somehow, for some reason, hasn't made it into this into this video. Don't know why it hasn't made it in. But that's because someone had limped early. Someone had limped. I ISO'd Ace 5 suited. Then a reg in the small blind, 3 bets. We call. We flop a 5 on a flush draw board. We call versus a large C bet. Turn presents a second flush draw. Your man just goes all in for like just over like 1.5 pots or something like that. And I'm like, oh well, I'm ahead of all these bluffs with my ace 5 because I've got a pair of 5s. I call, and they just had kings, and that's just like sums up. Like, well, sums up. That's the wrong way of putting it, but just people aren't bluffing at anywhere near high enough frequency. But I'm just like, well, LOL call because we beat bluffs and they don't have bluffs and we lose to all the value. And this is a common theme. It's been a common theme for my videos now for quite a while. And it's a habit I can't kick. There's 2 habits I can't kick. Speed poker and paying off. Now, if I could quit the paying off, I could happily play speed poker because I do well in the game when I'm not basically tilted and clicking the call button versus large bets. I have a good win rate in the game. We just like get rid of this for a moment. My win rate in the game this month is all in adjusted 4.2, and I've made some spectacularly bad calls. I think the party poker speed poker game is beatable depending on what time of day you're playing and like how saturated it is with shithouse regs. I think it's beatable for like 6 or 7 big blinds, but I haven't been good enough to do that. I just haven't been good enough. I've lacked the discipline to do that. And then because people play so scared and so passively with like good hands, but not nutted hands, it sometimes then leaks into me being a little bit too passive, which then encourages me more to call when I've capped my range, assuming that regs are attacking my capped range when they're just fucking not. It's just a mental game mind fuck for me sometimes. Not that I'll jump back in at some point. In a fit of temper yesterday, I've got 3 party poker skins I play on. I alternate between them. In a fit of temper yesterday, I uninstalled them all after this afternoon session. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not playing you anymore. And they're going to get reinstalled again at some point in the near future, I would imagine. And we'll jump back in. But I just somehow need to get my head around when anyone is making large bets, we need to be leaning incredibly heavily on the overfold. And until I can if I can get my head back around that, I'm playing well enough to like move back up to 15L again. Because everything else in my game is working really well at the moment, except being a payoff wizard. So that's the goal. Fix that leak. And it shouldn't be too fucking hard to fix. Frankly, it's childishness. It's immaturity. It's fucking grow up, Reg. You know they've got it. Just click call. Just click fold, sorry. Do not bluff catch versus these fucking weapons. Who are just super, super face up. They 3-bet, they check, they probably missed. They 3-bet, they C-bet small. They check turn, they probably missed. They 3-bet, they C-bet, they barrel turn. They fucking got it. Fold, Reg. Do not try and outplay these people when they're in their aggressive nodes, which is what I've been trying to do too often. So anyway, we're out of here. Video from Owen coming tomorrow. Actually, I don't know this. No, that's not true. The video from Owen's going to come out before this, so I'm just being weird. So, yeah, it's been a strange one so far. Results-wise, really cannot complain. Winning at 7 big blinds per 100. We played 46 hours so far in just 10 days, which is pretty good. 28,000 hands, pretty good. Everything's going well, but it feels shit, and we need to correct that. Anyways, Catch you all later. Bye for now.